So Vikings had quantum unfoldable ships that fit in their pocket. Then when they want to sail or fly in the air with them, they just take them out of their pocket and it grows again. Reverse Honey, I Shrunk the Kid style quantum technology. This is actually from the Norse mythology. Reminds me of Ant-Man with that quantum tech where he rolled around a building and then he made it grow and then literally just go in his office with the building. Then make it shrink back down and put it in the trunk of his car again. I could face having one. Pretty sweet way to get around. Also in the Viking mythology, they had ancient runes on them which was part of the activation sequence. Sounds like modern tech a little bit. Real legends, maybe more, even could fly in airships. Possibly even steampunk style, pirates of the air and sea. Reminds me of the Mario flying airship reptile boss airships. When you would fight reptiles in the air as boss fights on the airships in Mario 3. Also in legend, they could come right down from the air and land right in the sea and just sail, with full seaworthiness. Intimidating sea vessels. This quantum Viking fold-up ship tech sounds exactly like the Phoenicians in a way. Phoenician accounts, raiders and warriors who were masters of the sea, who literally with wooden boats could take it apart, kind of like Lincoln logs, slide, take it apart with notches and shafts, then walk through the waterways, and people would have the Starfort-like defense systems. They would just continue to walk through the series of land and waterways, put the ships back together, and keep going into the middle to take over completely. Pretty fierce and intimidating. Check out this quick clip about that quantum Viking tech, the ship that fits in your pocket.
Loki tries to atone for one of his many acts of mischief by giving Freyr a ship called Skidbladnir.
Freyr's ship Skidbladnir was the most fine craft that ever was in the water. It could go anywhere at great speed, and then, if he needed it to be small, he could put it in a small pouch to carry it around.
Skidbladnir is remarkable because you can fold it up and stick it in your pocket. But when you unfold it, it's one of the greatest Viking ships ever. It always has a wind, it always has a fair wind, so you don't have to tack. It always gets you where you're going in a hurry. And then once you get it to shore, you don't have to worry about where you're going to stow it. To be able to fold up your boat and put it in your pocket really has to be about the greatest thing that you can imagine if you're a Viking shipbuilder.
Obviously, tech from fallen angels. Sounds a lot like alchemists creating dragons out of cauldrons and then flying around on them, or in them. Found in ancient Chinese and other Eastern cultures. Also, Tartarian airships and air worlds is a cool, fascinating rabbit hole. By the way, airships are supposedly set to be making a big comeback with unbelievably huge airships. Also, the credibility of the Hindenburg burning down, a lot of people question and wonder if that was real or set up to cancel the air travel. Some supposed skyship cities, cloaked and still could exist, even looking like clouds. Kind of like the mothership idea, which many trackers of these orbs have seen supposedly coming in and out of some motherships. Some even being cloaked at times. Legends of other magic ships or flying ships as well, even in ancient Egypt, and supposedly underneath the Sphinx is where Thoth's ship is. Vimanas are basically also like sky cities or miniature versions, like flying airships basically. Hitler with Die Glocke Bell also being the Vimana basically, because he was also in touch with the exact same gods, which I've covered before. Aryan gods, Norse Hyperborean deities, related to the Viking thread earlier. Also, by the way, it's obvious, but Loki is low-key Lucifer. The trickster mischief god that causes all the problems. It's even hidden right there in etymology, right in the name, where it literally means the exact same thing, if you were paying attention. Also, pretty much all ancient sailors, including famous ones you've heard of, all have accounts of seeing these ghost ships in the sky and the sea, as well as all sorts of other fascinating sightings, including orbs I've talked about, and underwater glowing Ferris wheels is a major theme. Another cool thread is this mysterious Viking castle ley line, airship line. 7 Viking castles or Viking forts in a straight line. Obviously for airships, also look at the 88 miles per hour Back to the Future dimensional travel mode. Probably a coincidence, maybe not. Anyway, I told you about the smallest ship that fits in your pocket. What's the biggest? In the 1300s, they had the largest wooden sailing ships ever with the Ming Dynasty with unbelievable ship proportions that almost sounded impossible. Skyscraper-sized ship megafleets to dominate the ocean. The Mongols of the sea. Also a mystery of all titanium ships being built supposedly by Russians, which scientifically should be impossible supposedly. Unknown techniques, but the biggest recognized ship is called the Sea-Wise Giant. Pretty big ship. Twice as long as the Titanic and 650 tons. The propeller alone is like 100,000 pounds. Dazzle camouflage is something you may or may not have heard of, how ships would try to camouflage themselves with looking like this. Also, if you thought Titanic was the world's biggest ship earlier, there's a really weird thread I'll cover in the future about coded fiction. Scripted reality. Tons of coincidences, but basically, this was wrote in advance, in detail, in a book. And then it all happened to extraordinary detail. Anyway, in close, if you've been through hardships, or you've been shipwrecked in life like Paul, remember the remedy is worship. And then you'll have that snakebite immunity and be able to shake off all the snakes like he did on that island after being shipwrecked. And also, letting Jesus on your boat or ship will calm the storms. After all, the best ship is relationship with him, fellowship with his chosen, and his spirit, and sonship as a son or daughter of the Father. So always follow his leadership. Also, not that it means anything, but it might, and on the same tip of prophetic reality, scripted reality, or prophetic clues in major sporting events, or predictive programming, the championships this year in the NBA and NFL, the two major ones, were the Eagles and the Thunder. Guess the message is, keep your eyes to the skies. Swing low, sweet chariot airship, coming to pick us up and carry us home soon, maybe. See you next time on The Savage Truth. Peace out.